What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today I'm counting down the top 10 best Air Jordan releases of 2019. But before we get any further into the video, I want to give a huge thank you to today's sponsor, Reshoevn8r. Reshoevn8r is my go-to for all things sneaker cleaning, and they have everything that you could possibly ever need to clean your shoes. Now that Christmas is officially over, some of you may have gotten brand new pairs of sneakers underneath the tree, or maybe you just bought yourself some sneakers, I don't know. And if you want to make sure your brand new kicks last as long as they can, you definitely should pick up a Reshoevn8r sneaker cleaning kit. This little blue box is the Reshoevn8r 3-brush laundry kit, and it includes, as the name would suggest, 3 brushes, some solution, and a laundry kit. Everything you need to keep that new pair of sneakers looking fresh. And if you'd like to grab one of these for yourself or any of the other Reshoevn8r kits, make sure to check out the link in the description below and use my discount code SETH10 for 10% off your entire order. Seriously, you don't want that new pair of Breads, or if you're really lucky, that new pair of Travis's dirty as soon as you walk outside. Reshoevn8r will make sure your shoes are looking as fresh as you are. That was a good line. But now on to the rest of the video. A couple days ago, I dropped a list of the top 10 Yeezys of 2019 as the start of a very short series about the top 10 sneakers of the year. So we've got the top 10 Air Jordans of 2019, which is this video, and then the final video, which is the top 10 shoes overall of 2019. That video is coming up soon, and at the end of that video, we also crown the sneaker of the year, so that's pretty exciting. But now, without further ado, why don't we jump straight into the top 10 Air Jordans of 2019. Number 10, the Air Jordan 1 Mid Fearless Edison Chen. I've never really been a fan of the Air Jordan 1 Mid, but the Fearless collection took that silhouette and made a bunch of really great sneakers. And in my opinion, the best mid-top Jordan 1 from the collection are the Edison Chens. Edison Chen is one of the founders of Clot, and you can see his signature details throughout the sneaker. Similar to some of his recent Air Force One collabs, the shoe features tearaway fabric that reveals a gold and black leather upper underneath. As much as I feel like it would be a great video to cut off the fabric and show you all what's going on underneath, I really want to wear this shoe and have it come off naturally. The fabric comes in sort of a light cream color and also has this very interesting sort of glossy look that really mimics satin. Not only that, but the upper of the shoe is covered in an embroidered pattern that Edison Chen uses in a lot of his other sneakers. Right at the bottom of the laces, you've got this really cool metal coin that kind of looks like aged brass, and it also has this embossed detail that says Air Jordan 1 in Chinese. But my favorite detail on the entire shoe is the embroidered Nike swoosh that starts to fade away as you move towards the heel. The Air Jordan 1 Mid Fearless Edison Chen is an awesome collaboration, and in my opinion, one of the best mids to drop in a long time. Number 9, the Air Jordan 1 Obsidian. Earlier in the year, around All-Star Weekend, we got an all-patent leather women's release that shared a very similar colorway, and people called that colorway the UNCs. At the time, we didn't know that a tumbled leather version of the shoe was going to release, and I think a lot of people were kind of bummed out by the fact that that shoe was all patent leather. But then, midway through the year, we got word that we were getting the shoe that we wanted, and I'm so glad it dropped because this is one of my favorite Jordans of the year. Obviously, because it's on the top 10 list. The colorway of the Air Jordan 1 Obsidians is made up of off-whites, dark navies, and lighter blues. And I really like the fact that even though this isn't called the UNC ones, it definitely reminds you of that sort of color scheme. When I first saw the Obsidians in person, I was really impressed by how decent the leather quality seemed. It's really nicely tumbled, and it's soft, and it just looks great on feet. The Air Jordan 1 Obsidian is a no gimmicks, no frills Air Jordan 1, and is one of the most solid Jordan 1 colorways to drop this year. My only regret with this shoe is that I just haven't worn it enough, and next year, I'm definitely throwing it on feet a lot more. Number 8, the Air Jordan 1 SB Low UNC. The shoe is essentially just a low-cut version of the Air Jordan 1 High UNCs. And even though people aren't usually that excited about Air Jordan 1 lows, this UNC colorway just translated to that shoe so nicely. It had a very sort of dunk look, which I think a lot of people liked. Apparently this release was inspired by sneakers that Eric Koston's mom would buy him for $24, and that's why there's a $24 price tag inside the shoe. I'm usually not that into Air Jordan 1 lows, and I was obviously bummed out when I missed out on the Travis Scott 1 lows, but I was even more bummed out when I missed out on this pair because it's just such a great looking sneaker and it's so easy to wear. I really do think that this is the best low top Jordan 1 release of the entire year and probably the last couple years. Number 7, the 2019 Air Jordan 6 Infrared. The black Infrared 6 hadn't retroed since 2014, so when the shoe re-retroed again in All-Star Weekend of 2019, people were really excited about it. One of the things that people didn't really seem to like about the 2014 pair is that the infrared details seemed much more pink than they did red. However, in 2019, to right that wrong, Jordan Brand added the original red detailing, which in my opinion looks a lot better. In addition, the shoe features a full black nubuck upper, which is true to the original, as well as the Nike Air branding on the heel, which people always seem to go nuts for. The black Air Jordan 6 Infrared is one of the most popular Air Jordan 6s of all time, not only because it's a classic colorway, but because it's also so easy to wear. People love this shoe, and they will continue to love this shoe as long as Jordan Brand continues to release it. Number Number 6, the Air Jordan 6 Travis Scott. Now it's obvious in 2019 that Travis Scott has had an almost immeasurable impact on sneaker culture, and every shoe he's released this year has been insanely popular. The Travis Scott 6 is absolutely no different, and even though the overall sneaker is pretty similar to an original pair of Air Jordan 6s, there are some differences about this shoe that, in addition to Travis Scott's name, make it more popular than just a standard olive pair of 6s. The shoe features a glow-in-the-dark outsole, which I think a lot of people love, and it also goes really well with the silhouette. I'm personally a sucker for glow-in-the-dark outsoles, so I kind of dug that detail. Like I mentioned before, the shoe features an all army green or olive-colored nubuck upper, which I think goes really nicely on this silhouette. And of course, you've got the very obvious stash pockets on the lateral side. That was the one detail that seemed a little bit polarizing about this shoe. Not everyone seemed to like it. It definitely changes up the overall look of the Air Jordan 6. I personally think it fits fine because the colorway is already pretty utilitarian, and that stash pocket just seems to add to that theme. But I get why people don't like it. It can seem like it's tacked on, and some Jordan 6 purists might just not like people messing with the side of the sneaker. The entire shoe is rounded off by some bright orange accents on the tongue and on the heel of the shoe. I really love the fact that Travis Scott has taken his influence and decided to collaborate on a sneaker which, albeit popular, is not as popular as some of the other shoes that he's worked on. And you know what? I gotta give it to him. I think he did a great job on this shoe. Number 5, the Trophy Room Air Jordan 5. Trophy Room is a sneaker boutique started by Michael Jordan's son, Marcus Jordan. And of course, because there's that whole family connection, you know there's gonna be some really sick collaborations coming out of Trophy Room. And the Trophy Room Air Jordan 5 is probably the best one to release. The entire upper of the shoe is covered in light blue suede, which is definitely a unique look, especially for an Air Jordan 5. The shoe also features a sail-colored midsole and sail eyelets, as well as red shark teeth and a red sock liner. It's funny, when this shoe first released, it was barely going for $400. I definitely should have bought a pair when I had the chance, but I didn't, and now it's going for like $1,700. People just didn't seem to realize how limited this shoe is going to be. And speaking of limited, the Friends and Family pair is actually limited to 223 pairs and comes in an all red upper. Both colorways are fire, but I think I actually prefer the standard version because you don't see a lot of light blue Air Jordan 5s. It's an insane sneaker, and up until recently, I would have said that this shoe was heavily underrated. Number 4, the Air Jordan 1 SB LA to Chicago. I knew this shoe was going to be popular, but I had no idea how popular it was going to be, and I guess it makes sense because you've not only got LA fans and Chicago fans who like this shoe, but just general sneakerheads who love this sneaker. The concept of paint wearing off a sneaker the more that you wear it is just so cool, and I know this isn't the first time this has been done, but I think what makes this particular shoe so great is that both colorways are awesome, both the Lakers and the Chicago colorway. The purple and gold used on this shoe, even though it's a little bit desaturated because it's painted on top of some other colors, still looks great. And of course, when you remove the paint, you get this really awesome Chicago colorway. And no, it's not exactly the same as the standard Chicago's because both the stitching is black and the outsole is black, but it still gets the idea across, and in my opinion, still looks awesome. But what really surprised me is how good this sneaker looks when only half the paint is worn off. I never would have guessed that it would have looked this good because I just don't think that red and purple go that well together, but they really do. It's kind of like an Iron Man colorway, and I love it. Whether you're wearing this shoe as the LA colorway, the Chicago colorway, or just a mix of both, you really can't go wrong with the LA to Chicago Air Jordan 1 SBs. Oh, and I almost forgot, because this is an Air Jordan and SB collaboration, you've also got an air unit in the insole, which is super cool. Number 3, the 2019 Air Jordan 4 Bread. Also known as the Black Cement 4s, the Bread Air Jordan 4 was designed by legendary sneaker designer Tinker Hatfield. So far, the Bread Air Jordan 4s have retroed 4 times, with the last retro being in 2012, making the total times the shoe is released 5 times. The 2019 retro of the Black Cement or Bread 4s features a black nubuck upper, gray accents, and of course the very coveted Nike Air branding on the heel. 2019 has been just an insane year for retros, actually in particular black and red retros. And there's just no denying that the Air Jordan 4 Bread is one of the best. This 2019 retro saw the largest release of Bread 4s released at one time. And even with that, the shoe still sold out, which is crazy. The Air Jordan 4 Bread is a classic and definitely deserves to be on this list. Number 2, the 2019 Air Jordan 11 Breads. It's so great to finally have this shoe. And I know I've had the chance to buy this shoe for resale in the past, but because I've missed out on so many retail releases, I even waited in line for the 2012 release and still didn't get them. It just felt like a personal achievement or personal goal to be able to buy this shoe for retail, and so I did. fact, it doubled up. The 2019 Bred 11s are as close to the OGs as any retro Breds before it. The 2019 pair not only features a higher patent leather cut, but also comes with a box that's almost identical to the original. You've even got Nike Air on the insole, which I think is amazing. Michael Jordan debuted the Bred 11s in 1996 in a game against the Cavaliers, and since then, the shoe has only retroed 4 times. The Bred or Playoff 11s are one of the most classic and popular Air Jordan sneakers to ever release. And with the most recent 2019 release, there apparently were 2 million pairs available, and they still somehow all sold out, which is crazy. This is one of my favorite shoes of all time, and every time it retros, I'm definitely buying a pair. Number 1, the Air Jordan 1 Travis Scott. At this point, it's impossible to deny the influence that Travis Scott has on sneaker culture, especially when every shoe he's dropped with Nike and Jordan brand have immediately sold out, and not just sold out, but have resold for thousands of dollars. And I think that the Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 highs are the pinnacle of every sneaker he's ever released. Travis took one of the most popular sneakers of all time and flipped around the swoosh, which I'm not exactly sure how he did that because brand guidelines are usually pretty strict. And even if that's all he had done, the sneakers still would have sold out. But obviously, it wasn't. He also added a stash pocket around the top of the ankle, some Travis Scott Cactus Jack details around the sneaker, and surprisingly buttery brown suede, which is a colorway that I think a lot of people wouldn't have expected from an Air Jordan 1 collab. The waves that the Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 made in sneaker culture in 2019 are undeniable, and that alone would qualify this for a sneaker of the year. But not only that, this sneaker looks great and is extremely wearable. I've worn it a bunch actually, and it's one of my favorite releases of the entire year. And with that, we wrap up the top 10 best Air Jordans of 2019. Now I would love to know your thoughts on this list, and if you feel like any shoes that you really like were left off the list, so let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and have a happy new year.